This is usually outstanding. Thank you so much, Chelsea. I appreciate that. Um, so getting comfortable on camera, the more folks I've spoken to, the more agents I've coached to just getting started with video. This is like the big one for most people. And there are some things you can definitely do to get yourself being more comfortable. Part of it is just doing it. You know, it's one of those things that when I first started, I was a little worried too. Listen, I'm not winning any beauty contests. I look how I look, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to make this about how I feel, about being self-conscious or my physicality on camera. I'm here to deliver a message. And the first thing that helped me was having a plan and knowing what I was going to say before I got on camera. That alone was helpful because having a plan just had my mind focused on, okay, today I'm going to do a video where I'm talking about PMI, and I'm thinking about PMI, I'm thinking about guidelines, I'm thinking about the 6 different MI companies and the 4 different ways you can pay MI, and I'm thinking about technical data driven stuff. I didn't have time to think about like, does my haircut suck, or do I look ugly on camera? I'm too busy focusing on what I'm going to present. So just the idea in the first place of having a plan for what you're going to talk about, that out of the gate is going to take away some of that nervousness because you're focused on what you're doing. Second is focusing on purpose. And what I mean by that is, again, it's easy to get caught up in, any kind of vanity or self-consciousness about how you look on camera. But I'm not on here for a beauty contest. I'm on here because I see our industries, both real estate and the lending side, just littered with misinformation. And we all got into this, I would hope, at some point, because we wanted to help people. And when I look and I see some of the content that's out there, and I see some of the information that people are walking around, rumbling around in their heads that is dead, solid, 100% incorrect, I feel great about that purpose to educate people. There's different kind of content out there, but mine's really education focused, which can be a little dry at times, but I'm hoping that my content is there to help somebody go, oh, you know what? I didn't know that. And a matter of fact, not only did I not know what this guy was saying, I thought different. And I'm glad I listened to what he had to say. You know what? Maybe this will help me take a next step in what I want to do towards homeownership. So focusing on that purpose has really taken my sight away from, am I comfortable on camera or not? I don't care anymore. And repetition is the last thing that really just took it away, where after you do a couple videos and you just get into the flow of doing it, you're focused on doing it, you stop
You're
thinking.
welcome.
I don't remember the last time I was like thinking about, oh, how do I look on camera today? It's been a long time, and I haven't been doing this that long. So for me, if you have any level of discomfort with being on camera or making videos, these 3 are really the ones that help me move past that. Any questions on that? All right, cool. All right, so we all know in today's digital age, video is an instrumental part of your marketing strategy. Online users engage with video content more than any other type of content posted on the web, and for good reason. Before you think about anything, think about this. Who's your ideal client? Who are you trying to reach with your video content? What target audience is most likely to engage with video content? This is really important, and I inject this in here too because this class and a lot of the other classes I run in follow-up to this, they're very social media focused, and that is really the primary arena for video. But even if you're watching this right now and you're somebody who's like, I could care less about social media, I never want to be on social media, even as a producing real estate agent, that's fine, because hopefully somewhere you've got a customer database, and hopefully you're using a CRM to at least send something out to them on whatever frequency, once a month, once a week, bi-weekly, whatever it is, and you're sending something to them. So even if you don't want to be on a social media platform, think about what kind of messaging you're sending out to them. Are you sending them a recipe card once a month? Are you sending them a little graphic that says time to turn the clocks back at daylight savings time? Because every single realtor on the face of the earth is sending that exact same stuff. But if you were to send a quick 2 or 3 minute video about Massachusetts market update once a month that talked about what the climate was like for sellers, what the climate was like for buyers, where interest rates are, if you had a mortgage partner on there, and you gave them some content that was unique and came from you as an individual, you get a lot greater response and a lot more engagement out of that content. So when we talk about video being a really important piece of our business, it's not just about pointing captions on Instagram or TikTok or stuff. It's about finding a way to connect with your client and accelerating what makes clients want to do business with you. Who do the clients do business with? People they know, like, and trust. Video is a catalyst for them getting an opportunity to know, like, and trust you. So fun fact, 93% of brands say that the videos posted on their social media accounts generated leads that converted into paying customers. 93%. Now, does that mean that right out of the gate, we're going to post a couple videos and all of a sudden leads are just going to, come through? No, probably not. It takes a lot of work, takes a lot of time. And I mean, I'm still getting started, and I'm just now getting to a point where I get the occasional lead or inquiry come in response to some of my content. But I'm finding that the more I do get in that regard. And, for me, my job's a lot about networking with agents. And we know how much you love to be cold called by people on the mortgage side of the business. And I love the fact that I can do a presentation like this, or if it's from my social media content, where I can reach out to somebody every once in a while and they're like, oh yeah, I saw your Facebook post. I like your market update. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. All of a sudden that cold call to Agent Joe is not such a cold phone call. And that can go the same thing direct to consumers. Not only that, 90% of millennials today are actively using social media. I know this may not come as a surprise to many of you, but knowing exactly where these millennials are spending their time and what platforms they are using to watch video will help shape your marketing success. Millennials are a monster portion of A, the homebuyer population, and B, the first-time homebuyer population. I've got another class that I'll send out to you guys that's really just about engaging this newer generation of home buyers. But having a video/social media strategy is critical to staying in front of these folks. 90% of millennials is a big number. So which platform do you post your video content in order to reach them? You guessed it, Facebook and YouTube. Millennials are most active on Facebook and YouTube when it comes to watching long form content. And we're going to get into the difference between long form and short form. Both platforms are huge for generating video engagement. We recommend starting on these platforms for your greatest chance of converting both short and long form content, which we'll dive into the differences between the two. So switching gears real quick and going back to that short form versus long form content, I'm going to talk about the differences. Short form video, which really has blown up hugely over the last 3 to 5 years. It's typically shot in vertical, or what they call portrait mode, kind of with your phone straight up like this. This makes the content feel a little bit more personable. The general length for this content is about 30 to 60 seconds long. And sometimes it's designed to play on a loop, sometimes it's not, it depends. It's most effective for marketing, for engagement and lead generation. You want to throw bits and pieces out there for people to interact with. As an example, I might post a video up about, hey, listen, here's the 3 most common things people run into for a problem that prevents them from being qualified for a mortgage. I'll present 3 things, and I might say at the end of that video, hey, comment below and tell me what problems you ran into, as a means to create some engagement, or say, hey, DM me with any problems you might have had. Let's see if we can help them. I'm throwing pieces out there for people to engage with. Most popular platforms to post short form content are TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Out of the 3, you're most likely to get the most engagement on Instagram and the most views on YouTube. Engagement and views definitely have different, things they bring to the table. Personally, I don't think it's necessary to get into the whole minutia of how each algorithm works. I think if you're just getting started with video, pick a platform that you spend time on. I hang out on Instagram a lot. I'm becoming more of a TikTok person these days, but I've got more time spent on Instagram, so that's really a platform I kind of focus on as a primary. And whatever I put on Instagram, I also just kind of dump over to YouTube Shorts. But I just wanted to pick one instead of trying to be on every single platform, because again, my job by trade is I'm a registered loan officer, not a TikTok influencer or, social media guru or marketing person. And I've got to create some kind of balance. So here's an example of a short form video from a realtor in South Florida. I'm just going to play a quick little snippet of it so you guys can see what it's like. When I send a recap out to this, these videos will be in there if you want to look them up and check them out and play the whole thing. I'm just going to give you a little piece of it. You get the idea. I'm sure if you guys are on social media, you've seen content like this yourself. But that's one example, kind of, and again, it's more of a personal kind of thing. Here's another example of a short form video created by Samantha. This is a different take. Just another video that reminds me that I probably belong in Florida. Notice how she doesn't show her face in this video. While it's encouraged to be the face of your own brand, there are ways to get around it if you aren't comfortable just yet. So you can make some content that is not necessarily just a camera in your face. Personally, I think that is the best content, but myself included, I do shoot the occasional bit of content or the occasional piece that might just be music in the background with just some text that's educating people on a point. If for anything, just to mix it up a little bit and add some variety. For me, it's not necessarily motivated by a fear of being on camera, just a desire to kind of break a trend if you kind of feel yourself making the same video over and over again. All right. Here's an example of a short form video as well. This one's on TikTok. TikTok is not only the most downloaded app on the market right now, it's a great way to practice creating short-term videos. Ideally, we create TikTok videos with the hopes of showing up on the feed of our ideal target client, better known as the For You page. Here's kind of an example of what we're talking about.
The 6 Ds of real estate: death, divorce, dependence, downsizing, deployment, and dividends. These are all abbreviations to sum up that anybody in these 6 categories will always have the need to buy and sell real estate, meaning that it does not matter what the market is doing. The 6 Ds will always have a reason to buy and sell real estate.
So again, pretty short, pretty simple to the point, but something that, really throws out an opportunity for engagement. And again, without getting too deep into the nuances of every single platform out there, what's great about TikTok is that content can go out to anybody. We all started social media, at least most of us, with the way it worked was you had a page or an account and people who followed you saw what you did. And that's really, really changed a lot. I think TikTok probably changed that for everybody. And then, Instagram kind of followed suit with Reels. Reels and TikTok both are content that when you post, depending on what you put out there, there's a chance that you might get organic reach to people who don't already follow you, which is kind of the name of the game as far as social media goes in 2023. It's about how do I get eyes on my stuff that aren't already people following me? And TikTok is a great platform for that. And again, Reels on Instagram can do the same thing. All right, before I move over to long form video, does anyone have any questions specific to short form video or the platforms we use for it? Chelsea, anything in the chat?
Sorry, I have multiple screens. No, I don't see anything in the chat. We're good.
Okay, cool. Thanks. All right. So moving on to long form video. This is typically shot in landscape mode. So obviously in this case, the phone's, you know, kind of tilted sideways like we were all used to for a long time, and everybody changed it up on us. These are usually 5 to 10 minute minimum long videos. You know, they can be shorter, they can be longer, but it depends on the type of content and where you're putting it. It's usually going to be educational, kind of tutorial based, is more popular for long form content. Shorter stuff is going to be more of your entertainment, or the new phrase I keep hearing is edutainment. But the long form stuff is usually going to be a little bit more focused on going into specifics and kind of deep diving on details that you can't really cover on a 30 or 45-second video. Most popular platforms to post long form content are YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Your website is also another great place to host some of these videos. If you have a website or a blog, it's a great place to put some of this longer form content. And so just like that, we're back to talking about listing videos. Let's check this one out. I think we all know this guy.
Penthouse at 432 Park Avenue. A true one of one, a world marvel. There has never been anything quite like this residence, and it's never ever been on the market before. Spanning.
So this is a longer video. Again, I'll send the links out to everybody after with a recap of the presentation. But, you know, this is a situation where, you know, he's, to his point, he's talking about a rarity of a property that, you know, warrants that much longer of an introduction and that much more elaborate of a production value. So for something like that, long form video is going to be a better place to put it. Now, don't get me wrong, what's really cool and kind of off topic here, but it's important, you can always repurpose content. I'm sure Ryan probably took little pieces of this, chopped it up, and put it out as some short length content on maybe his Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I'll probably chop up a couple pieces just from this class alone and share it on some of my short form formats. Long form content can be used in its intended manner, but sometimes you can chop it up and use it for other things and call it repurposing. So it's not every day that agents get to show, you know, the most expensive building in New York City with a full production team like Ryan here. However, you pay attention to his tone of voice in the video, his knowledge of the video, knowledge of the building, location, etc. You know, if you're going to do any kind of listing video, you know, focus on the quality of the details in the video, not necessarily on the quality of the video itself. So the takeaway there is if you're going to do any property videos, listing videos, definitely check out some other folks and see what they're doing, see what's working. Again, I'm going to send out some good examples in the recap. There are some great examples locally that I'll send out as well. But don't get too hung up on not having a professional video crew following you around like Ryan here. You can get by with a cell phone just fine. Like I said, I'm going to send out some agents in the recap that are worth taking a look at on social media that I think do a good job and are good examples to follow. These are some of those folks right here who've been consistently using video as part of their marketing strategy. So I definitely recommend following these guys and kind of see what they do. All right, now for the fun part. Here are some of our favorite tools that we recommend you have on deck when starting your video making journey. So this is another thing that usually puts people off of trying to do video in the first place. You know, they see a video like we just saw from Ryan where, you know, he probably had a, you know, $25,000 budget to shoot that video. And, you know, we're out there just regular people saying, you know what, I don't have money for fancy cameras and gimbals and all this stuff. You don't need it all. And don't get me wrong, as I've been doing video and as I continue to do video, as it continues to bear fruit and I start, you know, bringing in hopefully more revenue from it, I probably will upgrade certain things. But for the right now, I'm using something all very, very basic stuff. First thing's your smartphone. Honestly, the cameras in these things are absolutely incredible. And when you think about how far along they've come and what they're capable of, it's absolutely nuts what a simple Android or Apple smartphone bought within the last few years can actually do, what they're capable of. I do recommend getting a little familiar with what they're capable of, and I'm talking about investing 5 minutes in a YouTube video. I shot videos just on the default video setting of my iPhone for God knows how long. And I watched a quick tutorial on, there was this effect I kept seeing in videos where the background kind of blurred out of focus and the focus was really, really well placed on the subject of the video. And I'm like, how do they do that? That must be some special effect. Come to find out, there's just a setting, there's a video mode in my iPhone called Cinematic. And it allows you to adjust either the f-stop or something. It looks like a little F. I don't even know what it stands for. But if I move that slider around, it does that blur effect in the background. I was like, oh, this looks really, really cool. It looks a lot more professional. And I watched a 5-minute YouTube video to figure that out. So understand your smartphone can do plenty, and I'm nowhere near at the point where I'm producing content to the limits of that smartphone. When that happens, maybe I'll move on to a different type of camera, but I'm not even close. Next is going to be a tripod. Doesn't have to be an expensive one. I've got a little cheap one with a light built in, so I kind of killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I've got a ring light that I use every time I send out, if any of you guys are on my mailing list, you get my weekly update where I talk about what's going on with rates and stuff like that. I'm just using a ring light on a tripod that I stick my phone onto, and that's it. I'm not using that's it. That's all. I'm not using anything fancy. I'm not even using an extra microphone. I'm using the microphone built into my iPhone. And last but not least, a microphone. This is optional, but it can help. Off and on, I do use a little, should I have it right here? I don't. A little, this guy. Little clip-on Bluetooth mic. I got this for like a pair of them, I think, for $20 on Amazon. The quality is okay. If people speak a little too loud, it can crack a little bit. Other than that, it works. Like I said, it's one of the things I only use once in a while, and I'll probably upgrade eventually. But for what I've had to use it for $20, it's gotten the job done. And it comes in handy that it comes in a set of 2. If I ever want to do a video that's like an interview type thing, instead of having to hook up a mixing board and mics and cords and all this stuff, I just plug that thing into my iPhone, and it actually comes with 2 of these. So me and whoever's recording just slap them on. Let's make a video. It's not about it being perfect. It's about just doing something versus having that perfectionist outlook of, well, I don't want to record video until I have every single cool tool in the world. Just make some content. All right, and here's some digital resources that will make your video creation and editing way easier. Mojo is an app that's specifically designed to create engaging Instagram stories. Of course, these stories can also be posted on Facebook and TikTok now. I don't really use it, but it does exactly what I just said. So if you ever get stuck for ideas, or if you want like a pre-formatted kind of thing, this is good to go through. For me, it's just something to use for ideas. Next is CapCut. It's a video editing app that will take the hassle out of editing the video yourself. And I gotta say, like, since I put this class together, I used to use CapCut kind of sparingly. I didn't use it all the time. And when I edited, especially my long form content, I was using on my MacBook Final Cut Pro. And I had to go through all this trouble to learn how to use it and how to do certain things and how do I make graphics appear in the video. And I got to tell you, once I realized there was a desktop version of CapCut, it's not just an app on the phone, but you can also edit some of your longer content on your computer. That has changed the game for me because, doing a lot more of the modern things that video needs, like having a logo, having text pop up, being able to put captions, it's so much quicker and easier. And I didn't need any training to figure out how to use CapCut. I figured it out in like 5 minutes. If you do, there's plenty of tutorials online, but CapCut is ridiculously easy to use and has a lot of capabilities that you don't need to get a lot of training for like you would on a traditional desktop editing platform like Adobe or Final Cut Pro. So I very, very highly recommend CapCut as an editing tool. Next is Canva. Most of us in this business are familiar with Canva. It's for me, it's revolutionized things. It's taken, the fact that if somebody like me who doesn't know the first thing about graphic design can put together a half decent flyer or a quick little video, Canva is just amazing. I literally use it on a daily basis, and to have a tool like that is, again, user friendly and insanely affordable. There's a free version that's very capable. I pay for the pro version, which I think is like $11 a month or something. I don't even know. It's practically free. It's video or no video. Canva is one of the most important tools in my arsenal as somebody who's marketing themselves. If you're not using it, I highly recommend it. And lastly is Synthesia, if I'm pronouncing that right. This is a platform that uses AI technology to create engaging, realistic videos. Simply type a paragraph into the system. For example, what's the state of the housing market? And the system will take care of the rest. You can create videos in up to 65 different languages. Quick question, actually, while we're on the subject. Is anybody on this call currently using AI in their business? Feel free to chime in with your voice or, type something in the chat. Is anybody using any form of AI or any AI-based tools? What is AI? Okay, so artificial intelligence. Whether it's this last thing I described as an example of AI, or is anybody familiar with a platform called ChatGPT?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Listen, I want to sneak peek something for you guys. Bear with me 1 second. So I've got my next class coming up. If you guys want to check it out, is on this platform called ChatGPT. And I'm just going to throw a quick little snippet out here of what this thing can do and how you can leverage AI in your business. Come on, log me in. Let's say today I'm having a hard time and you know what? I just can't come up with an idea. I want to record a reel on Instagram. I'm just like, I got nothing. I can come in here and say, please suggest an Instagram reel that speaks, that would educate potential home buyers. Sure, here's a potential reel that could educate home buyers. Start with an attention-grabbing hook, such as, are you thinking of buying your first home? Here are 5 things you need to know. Introduce yourself and experience in the market. It's literally writing my Facebook reel for me. All I have to do is just tell it I'm stuck. And if I don't like that answer, I can start over. It's literally walking me through the entire process of how to build this thing. Show of hands, show in the chat how many people think this is like both scary and incredible at the same time. It's awesome. And it's not to say that I use this to write every single piece of content. I haven't used it to write a single piece of content yet. But as agents, think about some of the things you can use this for. I know a lot of you guys don't like or see it as a hassle when you have to write listing descriptions. Guess what? This can do it for you. There's a zillion things. I'll reach out to you guys later on about the class coming up, but we're gonna have a whole class just dedicated to how to use this tool to automate some of the parts of your business that are just time consuming. But back to where this has an application for video, let's say I look at my content and I realize I haven't talked about new construction in a long time. And I'm like, well, maybe I need a post that's about new construction and say, what are the top 3 things a buyer should know about a newly constructed home? Here we go. I could make a post out of each one of these bullet points. I could do a post with all 3 bullet points. I could do short form content around this, long form content around this. there's no reason for me to be stuck for ideas. And it's, again, not about I'm going to take every word verbatim out of this thing and just copy it. I'm going to make some things my own. But if I ever need a kickstart to get some ideas going, or if I'm just stuck in a rut, this is an incredible tool to kind of just shake yourself loose and get some forward momentum. At least that's what I think about it. So hope you guys found that interesting. I just wanted to kind of show a little peek as a sneak preview. That is one of the next classes we're going to be running, is how to put that tool to use. So hopefully you guys like that. Anyway, this thing reset me all the way back to the beginning, so bear with me. That wasn't cool. All right, tools and resources. All right, now here's another thing. Not all of us want to sit around editing video. I try to keep my editing time to a minimum, and I try to just shoot things in a manner where they don't need a lot of editing, because editing can be tedious. I'm not going to pretend it can't. So for those of you who would rather prefer to outsource the heavy lifting when it comes to content creation, whether it's the editing, the content itself, or everything in between, these are two great tools to kind of look at. Fiverr and Upwork both serve a similar purpose. You can outsource your work to certified professionals for a small fee. And when I say small fee, the fees on here are extremely reasonable, if I may say, even a bit on the low side for some of the work that these people are able to provide. If you're able to connect with somebody out there to do editing work, there are a lot of people. I know several mortgage professionals and realtors who use Fiverr and outsource their editing, where they'll just batch shoot a bunch of content, raw form content, dump it all to the editor, and out come these great edited caption videos. And they're able to do it for a reasonable amount of money. So if you don't want to learn editing, or you don't want to spend time editing or putting stuff together, definitely consider these as an alternative. All right, where to post the content. So we're going to break this down, starting, first where to post short form video. Here's the 3 top sites for short form content: TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts really is kind of new, but I think it's getting really lifted off the ground really quickly. And there's a lot of views coming out of it, not necessarily as much engagement as on other platforms, but again, I like to work where I hang out, and I use YouTube as a search engine half the time. And a lot of other consumers use it the same way. So for me, as far as my direct consumer strategy, YouTube itself is really important. And while I use YouTube primarily for long-term content, anything that I shoot in short form for Instagram and TikTok, I'm dumping a lot of it to YouTube Shorts these days. And some people are having success with that. Although your audience may not be present on all 3 of these apps, they're a great way to get yourself noticed by new users who are unfamiliar with you and your content. So back to long form. Since long form videos will be serving a different purpose, you should consider posting them on different platforms. Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube are the top 3 sources for long form video formatting. It's important for us to point out that you do not have to re-record the same video 3 times. Record the video once, write a good caption that accurately describes each video, and post on each of these platforms. The whole process should take you no longer than 15 minutes. Think, 5 minutes per platform. As we near the end of our presentation, I want to provide you guys with a 30-day content plan to help you map out your strategy for the next month. I'm going to send this out to everybody in the recap, and basically what it is, it's just a simple template of a content plan. We'll have this entire presentation included, the slides and notes and everything available for download. So you don't have to memorize what's on the screen right now, but this is just an example. You can always go in and edit this and make it your own. But between this and being able to just go outside the box for some ideas, that part about not having anything to talk about, that shouldn't exist. And I'll also say that I'm available at any time. If anybody on here is like, hey, you know what, I wanted to do like an interview type of thing. Maybe you want to have a video where you shoot with a mortgage person to get them to talk about, I don't know, ways around PMI or some of the down payment assistance programs. I'm available and happy to shoot that kind of stuff at any point in time. I'll even bring out the gear. Or if you ever want to do a live, is a great way to do that. Whether you're talking about going live on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, these are great ways to hop on where you go live and just do kind of an interview format where some platforms, we don't even have to be in the same location. We can, obviously, but you don't have to. These are just other ways you can kind of think of content. So here's, like I said, 30 days worth of ideas. I want to go through just kind of key takeaways here that hopefully you guys walk away with. The first being the video drives the most engagement out of any other piece of content. I kind of like have a weird giggle when I think about like what I used to post on like Instagram. If you look at my Instagram page, even from like a year ago, it's all pictures. It's a glass of scotch and a cigar, or me having fun with my kids. But it's all still images. And now, like a year or two later, it's video, it's content, and there's so much more of me out there for people to hopefully get to know, like, and trust than just a video and some kind of, cryptic hashtag or something. And it's just crazy to think about how fast that's changed, but it's something I'm really excited about because this is a people business and you want to get to know people. And, we've been through a pandemic and God knows everything else we've been through over the last few years. Personal relationships and just in-person part of our business really gets shaken up a lot. And I, for one, I'm happy to be out there in person, shaking hands with people and, kind of in the trenches with my real estate partners. But I also love that when I'm not out there, there's still a way for both my partners and consumers who want to do business with me to get to know me on a human level. And that video is going to do that a lot more than some kind of picture.
There's a question in the chat, if you wouldn't mind.
No, not at all.
How does one evaluate the effectiveness of what you post?
That's a great question. Awesome question. And here's how I'd answer that. In the beginning, I wouldn't, I wouldn't try. I would just think about consistency. Like anything else sales related, consistency is always a key to everything, right? And when we talk about video or social media marketing as a whole, most people don't stick with it. They get out of the gate, they do a couple videos and they stop. And then they come back again. And by the way, I'm guilty of this too. If you look at my Instagram post history, I'm starting to get a little more momentum, but it's taken me a while to kind of get into a groove. My goal is to be at a point where I'm posting once a day, and I'm still not there yet. I probably post a couple times a week, which is not where I want to be for the growth I want. So for me, the way I'm measuring my effectiveness is more of a golf score where I'm competing against myself. And I'm saying my goal is to get up to at least 3 posts a week versus just the 2 I'm at now. And that's how I'm measuring myself against my goals versus my execution. With respect to that, some of the things you can try to do to see the effectiveness of what you post after you've been doing it for a while, you want to look for engagement. And the answers to your question, some of them are going to be platform specific. So I definitely say take some of our future classes. We have classes specifically just on Instagram, just on TikTok, just on YouTube. And each of those platforms have different strengths and different ways to measure effectiveness. So as we take some of those classes, we can delve into the specifics of which platform do you want to be looking for? Is it views? Is it engagement? Is it follows? Is it likes? For me personally, when it comes to Instagram, I'm trying to grow my real estate partnerships. I want to work with more agents, and I want them to see that there are mortgage professionals out there who don't just do a good job with the mortgage, but they're also here as a partner versus a vendor. And I want realtors to follow me. I want real estate agents to follow me and be able to glean that understanding from my content. So that's my focus. And like I said before, me measuring effectiveness is that there's the occasional cold call I make to an agent that turns out to be like, oh, hey, I follow you on Instagram. I saw your post about the market. That makes my week when that happens, because not only does it show that my work is paying off, but when somebody tells me they like my content, forget it, my head's out the door. But God forbid I hear from a consumer that it helped them. And they were like, oh, you know what? I misunderstood this. Thanks for explaining it. That's huge to me. So for me personally, how I measure my success is the effectiveness, I should say, is, am I meeting my goals for just putting stuff out there? Because again, I'm still really beginning this too, guys. I'm not a professional. I'm probably about 6 to 12 months into this journey, and I'm having the same challenges that you guys probably face out there too. Another couple things you can use for effectiveness is, are you trying to drive engagement? Well, if you're trying to drive engagement, i.e. people liking and commenting on your post, you can look at how many comments you're getting versus how many views. You can look at your analytics on any post. I can go on Instagram right now and say, if I had a reel, how many people saw it? And if I had a reel that, 300 people saw and I only got one comment or like 2 likes, I would say it's probably not super effective, and maybe that post didn't work out too good. Conversely, if I put a post out that, had 300 views, but out of those 300 views, I don't know, maybe you got 25 likes, maybe I got 4 new followers that week or that day that I posted it, that would seem more effective. But there's no static out of the box way to measure effectiveness. It's all pretty nuanced. So I hope that answer is somewhat helpful, not a complete cop out. Any other questions about measuring effectiveness or anything else like that? That was a really good question. Okay. Short form content, again, is 30 to 90 second bits of content that should be posted on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. Long form video is designed to be longer in duration and should be on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Don't get overwhelmed. There are a ton of tools and resources available to help you get started. I always tell people too, just when this class ends, don't think, you can reach out to me anytime if you have a question on any of the stuff we went over. You'll get some of the materials, but I'm here anytime to help with this stuff. And this is our Shoot Your Video Day. Again, I want to thank Chelsea and the law firm of Horning Scamoni. They helped sponsor this event, and we are doing a follow-up event to this called Shoot Your Video Day. So anybody on this call who, wants to get started and they feel like if they're just left to their own devices, it won't happen, or they just want some extra help, come by the office. We're going to be at their office in Natick on April 5th. And if you want to book a time slot, we've got time slots open right now. Take your phone out, scan this QR code on the screen right now. It'll take you right to a Calendly page, and you can book a time slot to shoot your own video right now. Like I said, this will also go out in the recap, but if you want to grab a time slot before other people do, this can set you up right there. These are just in case anyone wants to follow me on social media and see some of the stuff I do. I am at Boston_mortgage on both YouTube and Instagram. I'm on other platforms also, but these are kind of my 2 primary platforms. So if you guys want to follow me, subscribe, any of that stuff, here's where I'm at. And before we wrap up, I want to give everybody a challenge. The challenge is create 1 video in the next week. We're Wednesday today, so by next Wednesday, create a new video, and you know what? Let's tag each other in it. Feel free to share what your, if you guys are going to follow me on Instagram, send me a DM with your @ I'll follow you guys back. If you're on YouTube, send me your channel name, I'll follow you back. And let's share our content. Let's support each other. I'm happy to do that. So if you guys create anything else, send it out. It can be work related. Here's the funny thing too. When it comes to content, I mean, honestly, I kind of have these laugh moments because I'll bust my butt together and really put this great video together about, the state of the market or a certain loan product. I'll be so happy and proud of it, and it'll get like 20 views or like 10 likes or something. I'm like, eh. But then I'll post a picture of my dog, and all of a sudden he gets 3,000 likes. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Do I need to make dog content if I want people to follow me? So just know that we all go through it. Lastly, I just want to say thank you for everyone joining today. It's been awesome hanging out with everybody. I can open it up for one last Q&A. I know we're coming up at the end of the hour here. Does anybody have any other questions or any other feedback they wanted to share? Quiet bunch. Okay. So like I said, I'll send out a replay of this if anybody wants it. If you guys know any newer agents, by the way, or anybody else who could benefit from this front, please share with them. The more people we can help, the better. We've got the follow-up event for shooting your video, and that's about it. Like I said, we have more classes coming up, and now that I can see everybody's face, you guys, any level of interest in the ChatGPT class, learn how to use that a little bit more? All right, I'll send out some invites for that. That thing is mind-blowing what it can do. So I'll send that stuff out. And if no one has any other questions, I'll bounce it over to Chelsea real quick if there's anything else you wanted to say to close us out.
No, it was a great class thing. I actually learned a ton. I don't do a lot of my own postings, and I think, whether you're an agent or a loan officer or just someone that's trying to be relevant now, social media is huge. I mean, people don't watch TV anymore. They're watching things on YouTube. Like everyone's using the internet. They're getting rid of their cable packages and, using the internet. So I think it's something that is really going to benefit people that are willing to even learn a little bit about and just try to be, participating. So I appreciate the class. I thought it was really insightful.
Oh, someone wants to see the QR code one more time. Hold on.
Thank
Let me see if I can get this up here. There is the QR code one. Oh, that's not it. Sorry. There's a QR code one last time. Can you guys see it?
Mm-mm.
That's weird. Oh, because I'm not sharing my screen. Duh. Sorry, you guys. I never promised to be smart.
Thank you.
You got it? Okay, cool. All right, cool. So that's it for me. Like I said, recap coming out with all this information. So if you guys need anything, like I said, feel free to reach out anytime. I nerd out on this stuff all the time, so it's fun for me. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out anytime.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chelsea, for helping put this together.
No problem. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. And great seeing you all. Hope you have a nice rest of your week. It's supposed to be decent out, so try to enjoy, make some content outside. Spring market, baby.
All right, take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.